Hello and welcome to Thoughts from the Green Room with your host, Geoff Mays. This week in the Green Room, we're going to talk about the artist's journey. So when I think about the artist's journey, I think about two paths. The first path is what I call the innate journey. And I believe that everybody has a friend or a colleague who is on this path. It's that person who has always seemed to get it. That they know exactly what they want, they know exactly where they're going, they know exactly how they're doing it, and every time they make a move, a new door opens for them, and that journey just seems to keep flowing. They keep growing, they keep getting better offers, they keep getting better at the craft that they've said they are an artist in, and so on, and we watch them rise to success. Now this is what I call innate, because the individual, in my experience, and the individual who specifically I am speaking about, is the person who has never really thought about it. They got up one day and went, I'm an actor, I'm a painter, I'm a fill in the blank, I'm an artist. And they started doing it, and they did it. I have to admit, I've got a number of friends like that. I've met a number of people over the years like that, and I've got colleagues who are like that. And it can be very frustrating to see success come to them with such ease. At one point in my life, I was even envious and jealous. And that jealousy and that envy got in my own way of figuring out how to innately move through life as an artist. The second journey, or the second path, is what I call the reflective path, or the conscious journey. For all of the other artists who aren't innate, I think it's important for us to figure out what it is that we want out of our artistic self and our careers. It doesn't come naturally to us. It's not an easy path for some. It's something that we know we are. We are artists. We cannot be defined by the 9 to 5 of life in that traditional format. So we do things differently, we do things creatively. But what is that? What does it mean to us, and how do we express ourselves as an artist? This ability to understand what it is we do as an artist, if it's not innate, it needs to become a conscious reflection. A self-examination that guides us and eventually opens ourselves up to the understanding of what it is we do and how we want to express. Because without that understanding, we are stuck in a path of struggle. I'll use myself as the example here. When I started off as a young kid and I'd done my first school play and realized I want to be a professional actor, I thought within 3 years I was going to be the next big movie star, and I wanted to be a movie star so badly I could taste it. Now many years have gone by and I'm still not a famous movie star. But many years ago I sat down and I started to reflect and figure out what I wanted to do and why I was still struggling and not making my rent payments and all of that kind of artistic struggle. And I realized for myself that as much as being a movie star would be an enjoyable byproduct of being an actor, it wasn't something I necessarily wanted for a career path. I'd realized that in my pursuit of becoming a movie star, as misguided as it was, I'd learned that I actually enjoyed being an actor. I enjoyed the craft, the sitting down with a script and breaking it down and analyzing and understanding where a character was coming from. The interaction and play with other actors on a stage or on a set. The final product of seeing what things look like on the film screen. I love that process. I love the rehearsals. I love everything to do with it. I truly, simply wanted to act. Now this self-realization that came through reflection and conscious assessment changed things for me. Because I no longer was trying to be a movie star. I stopped putting on airs of being a movie star. I stopped trying to present that way or convince people that I was. I just started being an actor. And in being an actor, I started to be received better. People saw me as more truthful, more honest, more grounded. And in all of those things, auditions became easier. I started getting more auditions and so forth. And eventually I started booking more and booking more and booking more. And life felt much better because I was growing as an artist. Many more years down the line, I realized I wasn't growing as much as I wanted to be growing, and I was moving from job to job, and yes, I was having fun. I'm not going to dispute that. But it wasn't the career that I wanted to have. So I began the reflection process once again. And I consciously sat down and thought about what it was that I wanted and what I wanted to say with the art I was doing. And I realized that I enjoy film much more than I enjoy theater. I love theater, don't get me wrong, but it's not the thing that I would be driven by and live my life by. Film, on the other hand, now there's the craft that drives me. And that realization created the same generation of work. I stopped auditioning for theater and started being much more choice about any theater that I would do or wouldn't do, because you can turn things down. And I started actively pursuing film work, and so the path opened up. People saw me as more grounded. I was more conscious in rooms, and people saw this. Auditions came, bookings came, and things started to grow. Now, doing this actively for the second time in my life was a realization that the artist who wants to grow, who wants to develop, if they are not innate in this process and it doesn't come naturally to them and they make the choices that guide them because of some innate ability or some unknown force that just drives them in that direction, they know how to listen to it. If you're not that person, then you as an individual, if you want success, if you want to see things proceed on a path that feels successful, then it needs to be defined. And to define it, you need to reflect on what that definition it is. And once it is defined and you know the definition, you as an individual can make the choices that will drive you towards that career, that output of energy as an artist. Now, right there, I'm speaking about the first benefit that comes out of this active reflection, this conscious path, as I call it. It is the benefit of achieving what you want your life to look like as far as artistry goes. The second benefit that comes out of it is that your energy as an artist gets put out, gets seen by others, and the audience that you have begins to appreciate the work and reflect back on things. Now, I say this because I believe that one of the duties, and I say that lightly, maybe not a duty, but I'm going to use the word duty for the moment. One of the duties of an artist is to give back to the community. Yes, to give back to the community is the words I'm looking for. Maybe more appropriately is to reflect back to the community. Art reflects life. Sometimes life reflects art. Depends on how you want to look at it. But in general, if art reflects life, then what are we as artists doing to reflect life? And in reflecting life, we offer the non-artist and any other artists who are in our audience the opportunity to reflect on life so they can agree with or disagree with and make appropriate choices about life. This, to me, is part of the artist's journey, the reflecting of life to help change the world. It serves many purposes. I'll give quick examples. The individual who has a really tough week and they've just been burnt out by their job and they're like, I gotta escape for a couple hours. I'm gonna go watch a mindless movie. I'm gonna go watch some explosions and some action and adventure, and I know the hero's going to win in the end, and I'm gonna leave and my stresses will be gone because I've lived through that hero. This is a value that art provides. Now, who is in that film? Is it a conscious choice that they landed there? Did that individual who plays the hero choose to be in action movies because they wanted their artistry to reflect that escapism? It can be you if you want it to be, if that's what you want. art may serve that purpose of a person goes to see a romantic comedy because they're struggling in the relationship, and they see how light romance can be, and they can see how struggles can be overcome, and they go home and the struggles with their partner get solved and resolved, and everything is happily ever after for a while. Again, the artist in that movie could be arbitrary, but there are many out there in the innate path who landed there naturally, and on the conscious or reflective path who have landed that lead in that romantic comedy because they want to tell that kind of story and reflect life and give their audience the opportunity to see life in that light. There are many other examples of any form of art that you want to take a look at, and those are two that drive that artistic path. And I feel, as an artist, that it is somewhat of our duty to fulfill that, to give the reflecting lens. And this is the second benefit that I see that comes out of the conscious or reflective path. If you are not innate in your artistry, and it's not coming to you naturally, and the doors aren't opening, then by making the choices to reflect and figure out how you want to present yourself as an artist will guide you into that spot where you are seen in roles that you want to be seen in, so that you can reflect life. Finally, that third benefit that comes out of this, in my eyes, and it's the biggest one, is joy. When you're doing what you love, when you can look at your own work and say, I chose that, I made that choice, and I'm doing what I want to be doing, it's really hard not to live with joy. And what a better way to live, in my own opinion. The extra thing that comes out of it is empowerment. So many actors, and I imagine other artists, but specifically actors, go, oh my God, I can't turn that down. I got to take it because I finally got some work. Yay! And they rush and they grab anything that gets thrown at them. Even if it's something they're not even passionate about or really involved in, they're like, it's a paycheck, and at least I'm acting, and I'm not doing my day job. And there is value in doing that. I will not dispute it. I've done it many times. But it's a whole different world when you can receive an offer, look at the offer and go, no, not what I want. Not enough money for what I believe I am worth. Not the project that I want to be a part of or the people I want to work with. No, thank you. Scary thing to do as an actor when the money's not coming in and you go, no, I'm not taking the money. It's not what I want. But when that's gone, and 5 or 6 days later, or weeks or months, whatever it is later, that project lands on your lap that says, this is what I love. This is what I want. Oh my gosh, this is my dream script. Well, I can now take that dream script because I turned down the thing that I didn't want to really do. And I opened the door for that path. That empowerment to choose your life that leads to the joy, now there's a feeling. Now, I've been speaking about this growth as an artist, as a conscious reflective path. And if you've been listening carefully, it sounds like only artists do this, but I don't believe this to be a truth. I believe the reflective path is a universal path. Although it is much more innate or natural for an artist to be in that position and to follow the reflective path, because if we don't put a paycheck on our table, and we're stuck in the things that we don't want to do, the waitering jobs, the burger flipping, the whatever the 9 to 5 day job is that we have to do to pay the bills. So to get out of that rut, we need to reflect and figure it out so we can land the gigs. But when we take a look at the more traditional world, the 9 to 5 world, they typically, not everybody, but the majority, are easily able to avoid the reflective path because it's easy to fall into the rut. It's simple to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and get ready for work, to be there at 9 a.m. and do your day and go to the gym on your lunch and come home and make a meal and feed the kids and put them to bed, take a little rest with your partner and get up in the morning and do it all over again. It's simple. It's laid out for you. Pay the mortgage, meet the bills, get the kids to school, and another day starts again and again and again and again. And that rut numbs people, gets them blind to the world. They live complacently without thought. They become the zombies in the cog known as our world. It is less likely, less frequent for those individuals to reflect. And everybody's seen them, everybody's talked to them, those individuals like, oh my God, I love my life. I got my dream car, I've got my dream home, my dream partner, and dream, and it's all fulfilled. And like, how did you get there? Because one day that individual sat down, or many days and many years of conscious thought, sat down and said, I want to own this house. What do I have to do to get there? And they planned it out because they knew what they wanted because of reflection. So this idea of the reflective path, the conscious journey through life, is not one which is just a benefit to the actor, to the artist. Although it is more common for the actor, for the artist, it is a universal theme that applies to everyone to achieve the benefits of which is empowerment and happiness and joy in life as the key byproduct, the key benefit in my mind. Now, with that said, those are your thoughts from the Green Room. I'm your host, Geoff Mays, and I challenge you this week to sit down and do some active reflection and conscious journeying if you are not one of those innate individuals moving through life. We will see you again in 1 or 2 weeks.